Welcome to our weekly program, The Inside Story of Chabad in America through the Mindel Archives. We mentioned in the past about the Frierdiker Rebbe's historical journey from war-torn Europe to America, and also the Rebbe when he came in 1941. And I will not go into that. You can always look back and see. And the purpose and the goal of them coming to America is, as he said to Rabbi Mindel on the ship, is to spread Chassidus. And that will bring a light to the world, and ultimate to bring the Geula Shleima. In other words, the coming to America in Kadur HaTachten, the Western Hemisphere, is to spread Chassidus, and the ultimate is to bring Mashiach Tzidkenu. This is what the purpose, the goal of the Rabbeim coming to America. Those days, America, of course, as we spoke, was not like today. Baruch Hashem, today we have Torah, we have everything. Those days it wasn't. And the Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, they were the first ones that actually, or one of the first, that actually came to such a desert, a spiritual desert. What the Torah says, "V'ruach Elokim merachefes al pnei hamoyim," that the spirit of the Eibishter hovers on water. The Meforshim tell us, "Ze ruchei shel Mashiach." That means that the Tachlis HaKavona, the whole reason of creation, is to come to Mashiach, to the revelation of Mashiach Tzidkenu. This is the whole purpose of everything. And this is what the Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, tried to accomplish in this world, in America. Now, the famous Chof Zayin Chof Ches Nisan, where everybody is talking about it, where the Rebbe said, "Ich hab alles getan, und jetzt gebe ich zu euch." I did everything, and now I'm giving everything over to you. So then I asked Rabbi Mindel. He worked with the Rebbe, with the Frierdiker Rebbe from 1938 until the end. So can you explain me, what does the Rebbe mean by that? Ich hab alles getan, I did everything. So he said to me, and I remember what he explained to me. First of all, he says he knew the Rebbe very well. He worked with the Rebbe on one table for 10 years, even more. The Rebbe never took a vacation. There was never a Rebbe, Chabad, not Chabad, that didn't take a vacation. Mirutz HaChop, never. He mentioned then, when the Rebbe went to Gan Yisrael in the 50s, one time, he traveled a long time, and then he went, what did he do those few hours? He verbringt, he gave, I think, kosher bracha, and he was busy. And then a while later, he told Reb Shmuel Leviten, my Shver told me, he told Reb Shmuel Leviten, as kennt doch nicht kommen die Zeit, but that it was like, I don't know, wasted or that he's spending on Israel. It's like a vacation. That's called a vacation by the Rebbe. When the Rebbe had a heart attack, the first heart attack, my Shver said, in Tovshin Chav Daled or Chav Hei, that day of the heart attack, it was a mild heart attack. He walked to 770 because everything was for Chassidim. Everything he did, nothing for himself. There was never, that's what my father told me. He said, Fabringen, was there ever a person that gave himself over thousands of hours, years, 50 years, should speak and speak and speak, everything given over Torah, everything for somebody else. My Shver worked with him on Magia, notations, and I'll show you soon, talks and tales, notations on everything he wrote. People gave books, the Rebbe looked it over. hundreds of letters, English letters, Hebrew letters, Maimorim, Sichas. The Rebbe stood, Lekach, Shayna Rabba. He says to me then, Shayna Rabba, people go have a Shayna Rabba meal. The Rebbe gave Lekach a whole day. Erev Yom Kippur, people have a meal. He gave standing and giving Lekach. Kuntresim, Kosher Bracha, dollars. This is all brachas. The Rebbe was standing on the oil for hours and hours and hours. Everything for Klal Yisrael, everything. This is what the Rebbe says, this is what the Rebbe did all his life. There was even, let's say, Yechidas all night. Yechidas all night. Was there ever a Rebbe like that? Until the Sheva Mitzvahs B'nai Neach. The Rebbe said about advertising Sheva Mitzvah Neach to make a Shulchan Aruch. I think I went into it. Meaning that before Mashiach, v'nigol kved Hashem v'ro kol basar kipi Hashem, everything. And this is the preparation that the Rebbe did here in America to make it easier for us to bring the Geula Shleima. And now it's up to us what we have to do. In other words, the Rebbe gave a Shulchan Aruch, a ready-made. We can see in Mifsayim, everything the Rebbe made ready, Mashpim, the Rebbe got ready, everything what we have to do. And this is what he told me then, that the Rebbe says, he did. And now we have to take it, and we have to do it. So Zochu, Achishenu. If we do the mitzvahs, if we follow the Rebbe, what the Rebbe taught us, then Achishenu, the Mashiach will come right away. And this is what the Rebbe wants that we should do. For 50 years, the Rebbe always brought down the Rambam. The Rambam says that when Yidden do tshuva, miyad hei nigolin. Right away they'll be redeemed. And this is what the Frierdiker Rebbe started in 1945 with the Hakriya V'Akdusha, and that's a program by itself. Who wrote Hakriya V'Akdusha? There are people there that I don't think that that's the real name. And I have written down exactly how the Kriya Kedusha went. All the Alter Ligula, the Alter Litshuva, to push it, do mitzvahs. And when the Frierdiker Rebbe came to America, he started the people should push it, do mitzvahs, maisiyas. This was the goal of coming to America. And the last Farbringen that the Rebbe said, and from this we can learn, Bein Odom Lachaveirei, he spoke about Avas Yisrael. How we should be bein Odom Lachaveirei. I mean, I can say, if I may say, if my Shver was not a big chassid of the Mashiach flags, even though he says if that helps bring Mashiach, fine. But he doesn't know if what it says, V'ruach halikim arachefes al pnei hamayim, and it's Ruach Shel Mashiach. I don't know if that means stickers or flags or signs. If that'll help, fine. But I don't know if that's what the Rebbe really meant to bring the Geula Shleima by that. That I don't know. But anyway, that's a Maimer HaMuzger. So the Rebbe put Mashiach Mamish, that it's real. Mashiach is real. The world says, and everybody says, the Rambam says, every Yid believes, that's one of the 13 Nimamin, b'chol yom sheyovei. Achat yaloi b'chol yom. People believe Mashiach will come. Sheyovei. Venet kumen. The Rebbe made achat yaloi b'chol yom sheyovei. The Mashiach will come today, every single day. People, Chassidim, not Chassidim, Litvische, the whole world, they say a speech, they say a droshe, Rabbonim. What did they end off? That the Eibishter zal helfen, that Mashiach Tzidkayni zal come and be M'hayru v'yamayni umayn, which is the right thing to do. But that's the end of a speech. Everybody ends that. Is that really what the Rebbe wanted? That Mashiach is mamish real. It's not just ending off with a drosha. And Mashiach will come, who knows when. That Mashiach mamish b'chol yom sheyovei. This was the purpose of the Rebbe and the Frierdiker Rebbe coming to America. Also, I want to mention, usually when I say a Maisa, I heard it from Rabbi Chadakov, or from Rabbi Mindel, or my Zayde, my father, Rabbi Dvorkin. I wrote down a lot of Maisas that in younger years when I heard from Rabbi Dvorkin. But here I just want to mention, talking about Mashiach. I heard from two Chassidim, Elter Chassidim. The same thing. Since now it's Hey Iyar is the establishment of the Medinas Yisrael. So I just want to say that I heard from them that Reb Shmuel Vitnol of Hasholim went into the Rebbe, to the Frierdiker Rebbe, on Hey Iyar, 1948, the establishment of Medinas Yisrael. And the Frierdiker Rebbe was crying. And he asked, or the Frierdiker Rebbe said, why is he crying? He says, Mashiach is born today, but it was a neifel, it was a miscarriage. And Reb Shmuel Levittin explained that this probably was a ketz, that if not Medinas Yisrael, Mashiach would have come. What does that mean? The Rebbe loved every Yid. The land is a holy land. The Rebbe always called it Eretz HaKodesh, Eretz Yisrael, Am HaKodesh, Am Yisrael. The Rebbe loved everyone. But it was established not al pi Torah. And because of that, that held up the Geula Shlema. Meaning that the only way the Mashiach will come if we follow the Derech HaTorah, we follow the ways of Torah and Chassidus. And do mitzvahs, as the Frierdiker Rebbe said when he came to America. Taras HaMishpacha, Tfil, B'nodem Lachavere, Kabbalas Oil. By doing Poshet mitzvahs. And it's not that important again to analyze why you do it or what. First do it. The Frierdiker Rebbe always used to say, and a few times he's told to Mr. Stillman and many people that all misholim, that if a person eats and a person is hungry, and he wants to know how the food is going to digest, then he'll eat. Is that a way? No. First you eat. And then if you want to know how, you can, and it'll make it easier. By eating, it'll make it easier to understand. You'll feel better. Same thing also. When a person does a mitzvah, tefillin, or whatever it is, first put on tefillin. And this is also ayro for all shluchim, I guess, all people that go and do it mitzvahim. Do it. First do the mitzvah. And when you do the mitzvah, the Rebbe writes, it'll be easier to understand. You'll understand much better by doing the mitzvah before you do the mitzvah. And this is what this parsha mentions. Parsha Kedoshim, Daber el kol adas b'nei Yisrael. Speak to all. Why doesn't it say Daber el kol Yisrael or Daber el b'nei Yisrael, Tzavis b'nei Yisrael? So Rashi says over here that means kol ha-mitzvos tluim bo. All the mitzvahs are in here. That means most of the mitzvahs, all the Yidden had to be here. What's this parsha talking about? Ben Odom Lachaveirei. This is most important. How Ishim Evavitero, people should fear their parents. People should be honest. They shouldn't steal. They shouldn't kill. They shouldn't put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. Don't take revenge. All these mitzvahs have been Odom Lachaveirei. And this is what the Rebbe left us also with Ahavas Yisrael. This is called mitzvahs ben Odom Lachaveirei. And this is why we're still in Golus. Golus is because of ben Odom Lachaveirei, because of Sinas Chinam. And this is the only way that we can bring Mashiach Mamish right away. Same thing also of the Pirkei Avos now. We started Pirkei Avos, And as we all know, everybody speaks about it. Why is it called Pirkei Avos? So there's a lot of reasons why it's called Avos. Why isn't it called Pirkei Midas Tovos? Why isn't it called Pirkei Musar? Why Avos? So I heard once from Rabbi Chadikov, and I think I mentioned it once. Avos means this is a perik for parents. If parents are the way that says in Pirkei Avos, if they learn Pirkei Avos, they won't have a problem with children. Because children follow parents. If they see parents are honest, the priority of parents, this is the most important thing. And this should be a lesson to bring Mashiach. We see that the Rebbe, the Rabbeim, when they came to America, the first thing they did is chinuch. Merkas leinyoni chinuch. The Rebbe, a Rebbe means a teacher. So the Rebbe was the biggest and strongest dugma chayo. And this is what the Rebbe wanted for us. And as the Frierdiker Rebbe said to Rabbi Chadakov and to Rabbi Mindel when they came, Imein Gdoim and Yoshim. There's no lambs, there's no sheep. That means that they started out with children and that's why the publications, when the Rebbe came, the first thing he did, and all 10 years before he became a Rebbe, he was busy with publications. Talks and Tales. And this is here I have an example of the Talks and Tales that's how it used to come out every year for 50 years by the Rebbe. This is the Shmusen, and this is the Talks and Tales by the Rebbe. This was number one. Bichlal was very important by the Rebbe, Talks and Tales. And the Frierdiker Rebbe said, and I think I mentioned it once, that when he reads the Shmusen, the Yiddish, Kumtam zu Yerushalayim, and the Rebbe was Magia, was busy with Talks and Tales. He was busy. He wrote notations on every Talks and Tales. The commandments. The Rebbe said to Rabbi Mindel, he should write the commandments. This is about Emunas Hashem. Those days, people had Sfekis in Emunah. It was after the Holocaust. The commandments. In notations, he wrote notations on everything. The Chabad Chassidus. Release time. There is a book called Teacher's Guide. How teachers should teach children for release time. Wednesday hour. The Rebbe was Magia that. I have the Agoyes. The Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. There was a book given at who, what, when, and where. This was all done, and this was all Magia by the Rebbe. The memoirs. The Rebbe also looked it over. This was the third volume. The Frierdiker Rebbe said that there's the 2 volumes of the Zechronis, English. In English, they should write the third one, and we did. This is the third volume that we gave out. The Pshnei Zama of Ladi, everything. The Rebbe also told Rabbi Mindel, and the Rebbe looked it over, but it was left in the middle, that he should write a biography from the Baal Shem Tov until the Rebbe, all the Talmidei HaBaal Shem Tov, all the Talmidei HaMagid, from the Baal Shem, the Alter Rebbe, the Mittel Rebbe, Tzemach Tzedek, all whatever he can to write, and he started to write, but he didn't finish it. So in any case, so we see here that the Rebbe was busy with that. If the Rebbe was a Gaon, he was a Gaon in Kol HaTorah Kula. We see the way the Rebbe spoke. He knew everything. As the Frierdiker Rebbe said, Shas, Poskim, Nigla, Kabbalah, the Rebbe knew everything. He said on the Rebbe that he knew everything. But he put everything aside and he devoted himself into writing for little children, for children. And this is chinuch. And this is the beginning of coming to America, and this will bring Mashiach. So we all have to know that we should do what the Rebbe wanted, and chinuch. And here I'll finish off with Avot that the Rebbe said to somebody, to another Chosid, I think it was a Satmar Chosid, once asked the Rebbe, we do in chinuch, we do in Mivtzoyim, why don't we do in kashrus? Kosher. You have to eating kosher. Satmar are very much into kosher, into other things. So why isn't Lubavitch so much? Not that they're not, but they don't emphasize kashrus. So the Rebbe said to him, every person in this world is created for a purpose. Every person. Satmar, as you said, the Rebbe said, is created to give Yidden kosher. And we know what it means to give kosher, to eat kosher, not treif, for the Torah speaks about it, which is very important. And Lubavitch inyan is to make the customer people that should eat the kosher. And so each one has a purpose in life. So let's hope, the Rebbe says, that this is, I think, what the Rebbe means about I did everything, now I'm leaving everything up to you, so we should continue right away, and then Mashiach will come right away, take it from Miyad Mamish. In Mirz Hashem, next week we'll continue our weekly program. Thank you.